I went to the corporate world without that exposure or without that 2 years of my program, it would have been a totally different story, where I would have struggled a lot.
I have with me today Sahil Anwar and Ashish Dada, who are part of the lovely professional university and are working currently at marquee organizations like Asian Paints and EY. In this particular video, we would know more about their Bschool journey, how they took the plunge, and how their careers shaped up. Ashish, when you started your career or you decided that you wanted to take that plunge, it was the year 2008 when the world saw the financial crisis, and you decided to rope yourself in for an MBA at that point in time. What was that thought process? What were you thinking? Why did you wanted to be part of a business world which was looking tumultuous at that point?
So at that point, I had graduated with my BCom. And given the market scenario and all, there was a limitation on the jobs because everything was going in meltdown. What I thought was it made sense to upskill myself at that point when I had the time to do it without being held back for any other reasons, which I thought would ultimately lead to better job opportunities for me in the future.
Okay. Do you think, Ashish, that a lot of these students who have faced the COVID crisis would have thought in the same way that you did at that time?
I think so. See, again, the thing with all these crises is we have to look at the opportunity side of it. We can always focus on what's going wrong, but we can also figure out how I can make the best out of a bad situation. So I think the people right now, because the business and everywhere is going through tremendous change, which is opening up a lot of new opportunities as well.
Right. Ashish, you started your corporate career with Deloitte, right? An organization that a lot of Bschool students also want to be part of. You were working as a tax consultant, and at that point in time, you said that you had your commerce as your background. You graduated from there. Was finance always your stronghold, that you wanted to marry finance and consulting when you opted for your MBA?
Finance was my stronghold from the beginning, but the consulting world became more evident during my MBA program. That's when that whole exposure to that side of business came to me, and it was really interesting for me to see how we can connect with our clients and provide solutions in a meaningful way. So I happen to work more on the finance side, so I started exploring that option.
Right. Sahil, was sales and marketing something that you were always interested in, or did it get amplified during your college days?
Basically, what happened, it's not only about MBA, it's about every aspirant who are doing engineering or MBA sort of things. When they enter, the first year is very common. And when you go for MBA, it's just Master of Business and Administration, and you are doing everything over there. And then once you are going to fill a form that what is specialization you are going to take, then it's you can say it's a bit of a scramble type of thing that people are confused what to do and what not to. What I personally feel and what I personally suggest to all, that you should check yourself, your ratings, your personal understanding, that what qualities and what abilities you are having. I was in good people management skills, so I thought that I'm good at relation building skills. So sales and marketing is the best platform for me to land up. Then I opted for the same. Yeah.
Ashish, very fascinatingly, you worked in the 3 of the big 4 accounting firms. What made you make these switches? Was it the profile or the work culture, or both, or there was something else that you're missing?
All the firms that I've worked in, I think they've had an amazing culture because they represent some of the best firms in the world. I would say it was more on a personal call that I always wanted to make sure that I was not getting too complacent.
Right.
The comfort zone was something which I wanted to avoid. While I was doing it, I was obviously enjoying working in the firms before switching. But it was more of a personal need that, I wanted to make sure that I was learning something new with every step. So currently, I'm the senior manager over here in one of the tax services, quantitative services, in which I primarily deal with clients who work on research and development work. So there are tax credits available for them. So my role is to manage the team over here within our global delivery services and also maintain relations with our onshore teams.
Ashish, how much of your success or the kind of progress that you have made in your career, you give the credit to the professors of LPU or the mentors at LPU who have taught you, a few basics about the business school and the life that is going to be ahead?
I think, the teachers are basically the foundation of how we move forward. As I said, I was not even aware of some consulting paths when I started my MBA at LPU. It was only through my professors and teachers, where they exposed all these ideas to us. There were simulations on, how you interact with clients. Like they would send assignments at an odd hour. At that time, we would, as students, obviously, complain about it. That if I get an assignment at 8 p.m. And it's supposed to be submitted by midnight, how is that fair, right? But their idea was that you're entering a world which is dynamic, which keeps moving, and again, hopefully that you're working with global clients. The time zones and all, it's not the same. So they wanted us to be ready at the drop of the hat. That can you quickly do this, right?
Right. Sahil, let's talk about the summer internship. Summer internships are the gateway to a Bschool student to understand more about the corporate world. Was that what happened with you when you were part of Decathlon as part of your internship experience? How was that experience like overall, and what were some of the learnings that you took home?
For an MBA aspirant, internship is very important to seek the corporate exposure. And I did that internship from Decathlon, and I'm very much thankful for LPU that that internship was provided by LPU itself from the campus. I went to Mumbai, Decathlon at Thane, where I did my internship. And that was a pretty, you can say, the first corporate exposure for me, because an MBA aspirant, when he is doing his MBA, she is doing MBA, then when she or he entered into a corporate, what happens that all the things which you have studied, whatever example, whatever case study you have been gone through into the classes, you will be all applying on that ground where you have landed up into an internship.
Right. Ashish, it's been almost 10 years that you have, graduated from your Bschool. A lot of things have changed with respect to the Bschools, with the respect to the landscape, with respect to the technology that is infused and used in different, sectors. From your standpoint, how much of that technological shift has changed the MBA education, in your opinion? And do Bschools really matter today?
Of course. I think, again, these schools, as I explained in my previous point also, it's not just about the theory aspect of things, right? It's about giving people a certain sense of belonging, a certain sense of accomplishment as well, which helps them take on bigger challenges when they step into the corporate world, right? If I went to the corporate world without that exposure or without that 2 years of my program, it would have been a totally different story, where I would have struggled a lot in my initial few years, let's say. So that grooming, these schools are not just limited to your academic part of things. I think the whole personality development which comes through them is a crucial aspect as well. If I go back to your earlier point of how the technology landscape has changed, I think in my 10 years it has changed tremendously. The whole way of doing things has changed. There have been so many new technologies which have emerged. Sometimes we also have to go through some upskilling just to stay relevant and catch up with what's going on.
Right. Sahil, I'll come to you now. It's been almost, 3.5 years since you have started working at Asian Paints. Tell us a little bit about the kind of graft that you have had, the kind of learning experience that you have had there in the company.
So once you enter into the Asian Paints, so the journey begins like you will be on a buffer site. So they call us buffer, because you will not be able to join or look for some of the area or part of geography where you need to handle directly to the dealers or distributor, whatever you are handling. So you will be landing as a buffer over there. And again, you will have to learn everything. You have to learn your own. There will be no training session.
Right. Ashish, I'm sure that you now at your stage in your career, you also make hiring decisions. You also meet people and are part of your team now. What is your advice? What would you suggest to students from different Bschools to work upon the most, hone their skills in such a way that they can be part of a big four just like you?
I would say again, focus on building your basics. The fundamentals should be rock solid, and don't shy away from committing yourself to a certain work or a certain task, right? I found that it's your honesty towards your work, that the whole sense of, are you looking for a job or a career? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. Because if you're doing a job, then you're just interested in doing that one thing, pushing it out of your inbox and going on about it. But if you're looking for a career, then you have to not just think about what you're doing today. You have to think about what you're doing by the end of the month, by the end of the year, how you plan out to build yourself in that career for the next 2, 3, 5 years, right? So have that foresight, and I would say don't go for the comfort zones. Yes, there can be things which are easy. They might not help you with your growth, or even if they do, it might not be at an accelerated pace, right?
All right, thank you very much, Ashish and Sahil, for being part of this conversation and letting our audience know about your journey specifically and the kind of arcs that you guys have taken in your careers. I hope it helps some of our audience members to understand corporate life after Bschool a bit better. If you want to know more about LPU, there is a link in the description below. Go check that out and tell us in the comments below what you think about the video and what you want us to make next. Thank you very much.